Eric, good to finally have you on here, sir.
Yeah, man.
You've been playing drums in Tequila Pangea since 2008-ish. Is that right?
Well, yeah, 2009, I think.
2009. Okay.
But
I'm really
yeah,
glad I added that ish on there because I would have looked like a fool. Um,
yeah.
was that kind of the your first experience playing in a quote unquote real band?
Um, yes and no. I think before that, I was I was playing like coming out of um high school, and I met some friends who were like into punk and ska, and they all went to different schools in the area. So I joined that band, and we played around like the Santa Clarita Valley. And for a while there, it was kind of a scene, and there were other bands, and there was this sense of community and DIY stuff that was going on. And the shows were like always packed. Like we would play the Legion Hall or wherever, and there was always like a dedicated group of like kids who wanted to go see a show. Um, and so that was my first like, oh, people are into this, and it only spurred me on to keep going. And then I played in a couple of bands, and then when I when I met William and started jamming with him, it was a different level because it was not that there was more interest from other people, but just because we were playing at an art school now. And so our first rehearsals and our first shows were at Cal Arts, where Danny was attending, um, studying for, I think he was a fine art major. And so all of a sudden, the like class of people was different. Like I'm a townie, I'm from that town, and Cal Arts was like this cool art school that I would always just ride my bike past. But starting to hang out there, I realized like one, like these people are smarter than me. Two, these people party way harder than me. And three, no one's like in charge, it seems like. I don't think I met a professor or like I'm coming out of like I dropped out of high school where there were yard duties and like people that would monitor the kids constantly. So um it seemed like it was a new it was new territory, and I never felt fully comfortable there either. For you know, but I loved the music so much, and I bonded really deeply with William and Danny that I knew that I wasn't gonna stop doing it. So we just kept doing it.
Right. So you weren't attending Cal Arts. It was just Danny and William.
No, William was also not attending. He was also just a guy. But him and Danny knew each other because I don't know if they met through this other person named Adrian, but they started Pangea, William, Danny, and Adrian. And so they had already been playing around town. And then when Adrian left Pangea, there was this slot open. And I met William through this girl named Jordan, who was a friend of mine within the ska world. And she told me, my friend William needs a drummer. And I said, okay. And I didn't know what it was. And then she said, oh, it's called Pangea. And I looked at their MySpace, and I was really endeared by his Williams songs. And I didn't hear from him I think, for 6 months, I think. And then I got a random call, and it was William, and he said, do you want to come to Cal Arts and play some songs with me? And so I did, yeah.
Were you looking for a new group to join at that point, or was it something that was like, oh, I'll do this?
I was, yeah, because the ska thing had died. Everyone had like gone to college or joined the Marines, and I was kind of left in that town. And so I joined this other band that were like in the valley, and they were all older than me by 10 or 15 years. And I didn't really love the music that much, but it gave me an opportunity to go play out in like they would play in Hollywood and stuff. And I was like 18, 19. And so that was an interesting experience. But then I got over that and I quit. And then that's when William reached out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with the first couple times of jamming or getting together, did you feel like, oh, there is something here?
Yeah. I mean, I knew that the songs were good. And I think up until that point, I hadn't met a like one singular songwriter who kind of could put a song together from start to finish and it be engaging and interesting from start to finish. And so I kind of didn't care whether it sounded good or not because I wanted to be a part of it. And and I had enough confidence in myself at that time as a drummer that like I was just like it's good. It's good. Like I'm good enough, for this.
Yeah,
Uh
did you feel like you fit in, you meshed well with him instantly, what he was
yeah,
bringing to the table?
but the issue was that the last drummer that they had, Adrian, who is great, and she continues to play music to this day. She had this way of playing that was really interesting and fit the music, I thought, better than I fit at the time. It was very like bare bones, kind of twee, like less is more, and it fit the simplicity of Williams' songs a lot better. And so when I joined, the only thing I really added was, I think, energy and speed and, uh, um, you know, and I end up, foundation. I wanted to serve the song. I just wanted the song to shine. So I never really wanted to um, take my drumming in like a too much of a technical direction with that band, because to me it's all about the melody and the hook and the vibe.
Did you feel even in those earlier days that this was something more than a little, like the little projects that you had been a part of, like the ska band or the other band with the guys who were 10 and 15 years older than you? Did you feel like there's something more to this group than any other project?
Yeah, I thought William was hitting on something cool. Like finally it was cool. Like ska had its day and like ska is laughed at a lot. I still love it, but it doesn't get taken seriously, I think, as it used to. And uh, this felt something like it was fun music, but there was something serious underneath it, and that made it cool. And so I wanted to keep exploring that because the more we played shows and the more attention we started to get, I immediately felt like, oh, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Uh,
That early
there's no,
on.
oh yeah, like where I told my parents, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not gonna, And then my dad begrudgingly was like, after finally had to get like let me do it. He kind of was like, all right, like take care of your arms and your legs because that's what's gonna feed you, which gave me this like validation. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, so I hit the ground running, and then my whole life was playing drums for a long time.
Oh man. That's amazing. In terms of influences, especially in this time frame that we're speaking about right now, who are some people that you're really taking some inspiration from, or really just resonated with you?
Yeah. So I think at that time I wanted to play fast. Playing fast to me was the most impressive thing. So I really loved um, Grant Hart from Husker Du. Uh, I really looked up to the way him and DH Peligro from Dead Kennedys, and I can't remember his name, from the Hives.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking. I don't know the name, but I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his fucking name, but that first Hives record was like unbelievably fast. And like, yeah, you can play like blast beats or whatever in a metal band or something, but to play like that sort of garage punky, um, where it's all about energy and it's, all about heart and energy. And he's playing like eighth notes on the hi-hat, but like with one hand. Like I used to like sit at my drum set at my parents' house and like put on, the Discman headphones and just try to keep up. So those three guys, I think, influenced. Um, I think the way I wanted to drum, I wanted to be like those guys.
Yeah. Last week I had Chad Yubovich from Meat Bodies on, and um I'd asked him if he felt like there was different classes or eras of like different groups that were kind of popping up at the same time. And he said that there was some contemporary, like Wand would have been one of his class or year. Did you feel like that was also true in your case? Like there was some other people at the same time that were rising at the same rate or at the same time as Pangea was.
Yeah, certainly want Corey and Meat Bodies, and Meat Bodies is like I was a little bit a part of that, so it was I couldn't fully look at it from an outsider perspective. Um, and then like I watched the Chad interview, so he's like Dwyer is the creator, and I certainly put Dwyer up there and Mark Sultan and Ty, of course, up there, um, who are responsible for sort of um, making that sort of music interesting and fresh and new. And yeah, I wouldn't say class, but I would say that there were waves for sure. Like that was a big wave, and it started pretty early on before I even joined Pangea. Dwyer's doing shit, and I don't know if Ty had maybe started by then, but King Kong and the Black Lips were already doing stuff. Um, so that was I consider that the sort of first wave, and Pangea and all those other bands were kind of the second wave. I don't think we ever reached. I don't think our wave was as tall as their wave. I don't think, but it felt like there was people that were interested. So, but I think that Pangea specifically, we're kind of chameleons in the sense of like, I mean, we wrote songs in a certain style, and then the next record we would shift, and for better and for worse. I think we lost some fans after the first record because we pivoted, and and etc. Like after every record it seemed like we lost something, but we also gained something different. um and to me it was like that was fun while it lasted, but I think Pangea always adapts to, I think, whatever is cool. I hope,
Did you feel inspired by Ty and Theo Seizing and King Kong and Meat Bodies and all these other people that are your contemporaries, were then and are still?
Of course. I think it would have been hard not to have been inspired. I mean, especially, I mean, I would look at it from a drummer's perspective back then because I really wasn't doing too much other than playing drums. Here and there, I would play guitar on a Pangea song, but like that was such a secondary thing. But certainly when I heard Ty play drums for the first time, I was like, my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, he was so good and so tasteful and kind of like you could tell he really loved drumming from a certain era and like really wanted to, like, no one else was playing drums like that to me. So then when Chad asked me to join, I said yes because I think at that point I was pretty burnt out on playing like the same drum beat for Pangea that I had been playing for years, and
So
I wanted
he
to do
asked you
something.
to join after you had already been playing in Pangea.
Yeah, and
Oh wow.
Chad joined. Pangea and played with us for a little while. And I know I wasn't the first drummer. I must have been the second or third. Um, and yeah, it was uh, it was a new way for me to like continue to be interested in my instrument, you know.
Very
Uh,
interesting. I did not know that he was a part of Pangea and you were a part of Meat Buddies. That's
yeah,
really interesting. Wow.
well, we met at Cal Arts because Corey was going to Cal Arts, and Corey and Chad grew up together. And there was this guy, Michael Cronin, who knew Ty. And Michael Cronin was in the music program, I believe. And so when Pangea was playing shows at Cal Arts, Michael Cronin and Danny met, and Michael told Danny he's putting a band together for Michael's first record, and he needed a band, and we were going to go on tour. And so he asked Corey to play guitar, Danny to play bass, no, Corey to play guitar, Danny to play guitar, Chad to play bass, and then they asked me to play drums. So I met Corey and Chad and Michael, and we went on a month-long tour opening for Ty. And I got to bond with Chad and Corey. And so after that ended, we did a couple tours, but Corey had joined Pangea and left. Chad joined Pangea and left. And then Chad asked me to play in Meat Bodies. And so we started writing the first record. And yeah, I'm on the first record. Half of it is Ty playing drums and half of it is me. And then after that first record, I wanted to focus on Pangea again. I can't even tell you where my head was at, but I can't remember. But I made a decision like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do Pangea. So then, and then came back to Meat Bodies to do another record after that,
So
and then
it
quit
could
after that.
it could have easily gone a different way that you had stuck with Meat Bodies. It could have just as easily been that you would have been in Meat Bodies and not in Pangea.
Yeah. No, I don't think I would have ever quit. I still like Pangea. I will never quit. Like
Well,
we
I think
ride.
now it's too late, Eric. It's too late to leave now.
It's like we're until the wheels fall off, I think, for Pangea.
Right.
Um,
Uh, so going back to Pangea's first iterations, Jelly Jam was the first I guess hard copy release, right, of Pangea's works on a tape.
on a tape, yeah, that was the first thing I was a part of. Before then, they had some CDRs that they burnt and made little handmade covers for them, and they passed them around. But the jam was the first thing, and we recorded that at Mix LA in Reseda, which is huge. And Andrew Schubert, who recorded it, I think he was interning there or something. He had the keys, and so after hours, he would invite us to come and record for, for as long as we wanted, like from fucking 8 p.m. until the wee hours of the morning. So that first thing we did, um, and I think you can tell because we did a few things with Andrew Schubert at MixLA, like record by record, it started sounding better. Like I don't think Andrew really knew what he was doing at that time, and neither did we. So, but I remember when that came out, the tape came out, it was the first real thing that, had my name on it, and I was really proud of that first one for sure.
Yeah, did you feel like that was I mean, obviously it was a big uh, thing to accomplish, but did you feel like this is a huge step in doing this, in doing music, just in general?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think growing up when you're like a kid and a teenager and you like music, or if you love music and you want that to be your life, um, having a, a record or a tape with your name on it is certainly the goal. And um, your goals change as you get older, but that was definitely like we had reached a thing. Like this means we're a real band. I know they only made like 20 of them, but like,
There was
it
20 of them made.
lives
Yeah.
after we're it might have been like 500 or I don't know. I can't remember.
Still though, yeah, more than one. More than a one of one.
Yeah.
Did you feel like there was any slow points for the band where nothing was happening early on, or did it always feel like there was something to work on or something to do or somewhere to play? Did it always feel like there was something on the calendar for the band?
Um, Back in those days, there was always something to do, um, or there was always a show, or there was always a writing session. We're gonna go to the studio. Um, it wasn't until way later on that it seemed like we could take a break and that we wanted to take a break because from I think 2011 to 2017 or 18, we were just touring all the time. And and then within that, I was doing meat bodies and then not doing meat bodies and then doing meat bodies. That I was a little burnt out on touring, and still now to this day, like we don't do long tours anymore. We'll do 2 weeks, come home for a while. Life has changed. Like I had a baby, William had a baby, and we got married, and so life is a little different now, you know.
Right. Things change, and that's good. Those are all good things that have changed. It hasn't changed for the worse, it's changed for the better. You guys became adults and did adult things.
Yeah, definitely.
Are there any early shows or shows that occurred early on for the band that still stand out to you now for whatever reason, good or bad or crazy or whatever it may have been?
Um, I mean, I remember playing at the Echo to nobody, which was it was like I think the first time we had ever played the Echo, and there was nobody there.
Oh,
So maybe that was a little bit of like what are we doing here? But I think we all believed in it so blindly at that point that it didn't matter. Like we knew people were gonna eventually hear it. Um, I remember shows like at the Smell and meeting people and playing weird shows. We played for all right, so this I forget his name, but there was a guy that was going to Cal Arts who was a trumpet player, and he joined Pangea for like 2 or 3 shows, and he booked a couple shows that were super weird, like Valley, like those showcase kind of shows or something, like you're playing for industry people, but like whatever. And he came and went, and then like a couple years later, I we heard him on the radio, and he had joined that band Capital Cities, and they had a huge hit where the like hook of the song is him playing the trumpet, and it's I forget his fucking name, but it's like something like that. And we went, holy shit, that's the guy who was in Pangea for like a week. Holy shit.
you guys really
Uh,
fucked up by not holding on to him.
yeah. And he's come back.
And he is I mean, I guess we could say it now. The new upcoming album coming out in January, he is featured on I think half of the songs.
He gets all the credit. He's getting the publishing.
Yeah, rightfully so. It's fair. Um, in terms of commercial success, was that always something that you wanted, or was that something that just kind of again just kind of happened within these adventures within the band? Something that I remember is the and I believe I talked to Danny about this when he was on one of his episodes, and please go back and listen to that. But the T-Mobile, I believe it was, that licensed
Oh yeah.
looked
Yeah.
into, I believe it is, and I hope I have that correct. But
Yeah.
but stuff like that, like kind of bigger opportunities like that, was that always something that you wanted or gravitated towards, or was that always just something that occurred?
I mean, you don't necessarily think that you want that when you're a teenager. And I remember just wanting to be cool, and being in a cool band is enough. But then when those things started happening, um, it happened at a point where we were all broke anyway. We were living that, like, we're broke, and that's cool or whatever. And then that thing happened, and remember watching it, and it was during the Super Bowl when I at the time, because it was like a national commercial, and I was like, wait a minute, like, like, did we cross over the mainstream? I don't think that we have, but I think at that point I was like, holy shit, are we famous? Yeah, I played during the Super Bowl, and for a moment I thought like we had become something bigger than we were. And certainly you start, that sort of thing becomes on your radar, and you start wanting it because it happened to you. And hopefully you don't start writing to sort of cater that to that sort of thing. But it was definitely validating. It seemed like not so much that our song was undeniable, but more that, like, we finally met the right person at the right time in the industry who would make it happen. Like, your shit doesn't necessarily have to be jaw-droppingly amazing for it to get featured on a thing. It just, you gotta know a guy. And there's a guy whose job it is to find that sort of shit. And it's so saturated out here in LA that it's can be hard to find. So it felt like a needle in a haystack situation where, like, we found the guy at the right moment who had the right connection and the whatever. So, and we thought too that, like, that's never going to happen again. Like, that it was such a rare thing that happened that it wouldn't ever happen again. Um, and I don't think anything that big has happened for us in the sync world. Um, we got a few more, like the Catfish, the TV show had a couple of songs, and here and there over the years. It definitely slowed down after a while, and then oh, my favorite is we got Ted Lasso, and no one knows that we got Ted Lasso because you can't hear it.
Hey, I gotta be honest with you. It seems like you guys kind of shot yourselves in the foot because you did get rid of the trumpet player. And obviously, if you played the showcase, if you had been doing the work that he was trying to offer
He
you,
played the showcase.
it
There's
would
just
have been, it would have been easier to get this done years ago.
I know, man. And now I
Um,
have a TV to feed. Now I got to get this guy on the phone.
yeah. We're gonna, if he's listening, trumpet player, please. Yeah, have you checked out the Ted Lasso to not hear the song?
Yeah, I turned it on because at the time me and my wife were actively watching it, like, we liked it, and so we got the news as we were watching that last season, and we were so stoked. And they told us it's going to be in the last episode. It's going to be during a scene with so and so and so and so, and that's it. And then me and my wife watched the episode, and we rewinded it over and over and over again because I swore to God that it wasn't in there. And and then, like, a couple of weeks later, I forgot about it, and then I was talking to William, and he's like, it's in there, it's in there, it's like a bar scene, and so is talking, and if you listen really closely you can hear the song. uh and I don't get why that we were in there to begin with. Like, point. um but I just thought that was funny and interesting that, like, you know, if that had been our first big one, we would have been so stoked. But now, after all these years, I'm like, you can't even fucking hear it. What's the point of it?
Well, I mean, that's a common. I mean, I face it all the time when I'm watching something. I go, I can't fucking hear this dialogue, or something is too. It's not mixed properly.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, if you get the check, you get the check, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, and again, I mean, the check would have been coming in more consistently if you had a horn play, whatever. It's fine. We already gone through that. No, that is really exciting though. I always like to hear people who have been on this podcast like, oh, I know that song. Like that's such and such from so and so's, or the whatever's.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
always like that because it always means there's a there's some money behind that as well.
Yeah, totally.
And I like to hear that people are getting money.
Yeah.
Um, always love to hear it. Now, Eric, you got into cryptocurrency really early, and that's when you made your first 2 million, right?
Um,
You sold at two.
I got in early, but I haven't made much.
Okay, and I'll just I'll go in between the lines here for a moment. When he says not much, you are sitting on 50 million right now.
Yeah, but that's I have friends that have way more than that. Chump, chump change.
Um, were there any were there any other experiences, not just early on, but maybe when the band started picking up some steam and getting more attention or whatever? Was there anything else that kind of weird occurrences that had happened just because you were playing somewhere or that you were in the band and like just something occurred that you're like this wouldn't have happened if I wasn't a part of this band playing this show or whatever it may have been.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to meet a lot of friends that I have now, and I think I certainly wasn't ever the face of the band, and if I were to walk down the street, I would never be the guy that gets recognized or anything. Um,
From Meat Bodies you're referring to, yes?
from any band I've ever been in.
Not even the ska one?
Nope, just a lonely drummer in the back, in front of a horn section. Uh, but I mean, everything that has been positive in my life with music has been a result of being in Pangea. So uh, I don't know if there's one thing I can point to, but it's all of it is because of that band for
Hmm.
sure. I don't know. I sometimes I think if I had never joined that band, how I would have uh, been able to separate myself as a musician, or you know, join the right band to get on the cool tour to meet the famous artists who I'm now playing drums for. Like, it seems like such a harder path, and to have I would have had to have done it alone. And so it kind of just fell in my lap, to be honest. Like there was a cool band in my town and they needed a drummer, and I like the songs and they're cool. And um, yeah, I didn't have to do much. All I had to really do was spend like from 10 years old to 19 years old, like obsessing over an instrument, um, and listening to music over and over and over and over and over again, um, to get to a point where I could feel comfortable playing with anybody. And so if you knock that out early on, like all you have to do is say yes to any opportunity that comes your way,
Easy. It's so easy. It's the easiest thing to do. Do you think that
Just
you
say yes.
just say yes, dare to say yes, right? So I think it's dare. I think that's what the says on the shirts. Um,
Yeah.
do you think that you've had every kind of experience someone could have in a band being in Pangea for what 16-ish years?
Um, I mean, there's definitely still a level that we hope to get to. I don't think that we are. It's hard. It's hard to say from inside of it.
Mhm.
Like, people look at numbers on Spotify to judge how big a band is, but that's kind of flimsy because some bands have huge numbers and can't sell tickets, and that's its own thing. And TikTok bands. I don't know. We came around at an era where the internet was certainly there, and it was a way to communicate and to put your music across to other people, but it wasn't quite at the Spotify level that it's at. And um, you accumulate numbers over the years. And so after years of playing and having your music out, like those numbers will grow. But I cannot tell you how big we ever were. I don't know. We didn't sell that many records. We got dropped from our label at Capitol because we didn't sell enough records. Um, and everything after that, like we felt like we had peaked. We had been to Hollywood at Capitol Records in the office with the president of the company who's saying like, this is going to be a hit, you know? And I'm like, okay. And you start to believe him, even though he looks like this is or a scene out of a movie. Like, and so when that didn't happen, we all kind of were like, well, that happened. And maybe that was going to be the peak, and it didn't happen. So now we just write for ourselves and for our fans. And whether that's successful is, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But I never felt like we had reached, like we still haven't gotten there yet, I don't think. And I don't think we're ever going to stop trying.
Yeah, and do you even want? I mean, and once you hit whatever there is, I mean, want it change to something else? Like, okay, now this, and it might not be as spectacular as what it once was. It's like now I want to try this or accomplish this or have this underneath my belt, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things I want to do that you know, like I want the band to be successful, and if it's not, I hope that we're remembered. Um, and then from that, I want to do different shit. Like I want to try producing a record or try like, you know, that's why I'm doing my solo shit now. Is like I I was way too afraid to do it before, and then it finally got to a point where I was like, everything I do in my life outside of my family is music. It has to be in the music thing. So it's not like I, you know, quit music and get into like you know, whatever, cars or something or tennis or something. Like it's always going to be within the music thing. So um I don't know. Pangea has played played and done cool shit, and cool to me.
And continues to.
I hope that I mean, yeah, we wouldn't do it if it wasn't, I don't know, maybe we would do it if people weren't like, I tend to think of us as lifers. Um, like we're never gonna stop trying. Or at least try to get whatever's inside outside, you know,
Yeah.
musically. Because we bond so, like, we have so much chemistry together, the three of us, that um it would take a lot for us not to want to be in the room and play music together. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, being in a band for this amount of years, I mean, you're really gonna be bonded, and that's amazing. Um, Going back to the quote unquote success of bands, were you and are you still shocked by like if you have you heard bands and do you still hear bands that you go, wow, that band really has something to them and they just don't pop in the way that you think that they would for whatever reason? I mean, how many times does that happen? You're like, these are the next guys. Like these guys might get really, really, really big, and then nothing ever
yeah,
happens.
yeah. Um, that does happen, or at least you think like they should be more popular than they are.
Right.
Um, I don't know why that happens, and I don't know if I can think of a band that.
No, 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 I'm not asking for a name here, but the my point being is, do you think that that is occurring more now than before, like when the band started,
Uh,
or do you think that,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm surrounded by fucking incredible music all the time that I feel like not enough people hear it, and maybe that's I feel like everyone's in a band, everyone's making a record, and maybe that's because I'm surround myself with it. But um, you know, and there's so many fucking people in the world that should listen to it. But it does take, you know, not every musician or artist wants to do it, but it takes that, like putting yourself out there and really annoying the shit out of people on social media just to get a little bit of attention. And that in itself is so fucking draining.
hmm
Because I never used to do that. I never used to be the one in the band who was actively trying to put us out there or network even. I was just like, tell me where to be and I'll be there and I'll take the picture, I'll play the drums, I'll record. And so now I have to do that myself, and it is so weird. Uh, yeah.
Is there a is there an album from a contemporary artist that you might be, you know, even very close to, or just kind of vaguely know from meeting them once or twice, that really resonated with you for whatever reason? You're like, this album in particular, kind of like what Chad was saying in on that other episode with the OCs being so influential, or just being so good and just bringing this newness in that he liked. Was there ones that resonated with you, a contemporary artist's music
Yeah.
or album in particular?
Yeah. Lemons by Ty Segall. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I heard that one when it came out, or whatever, '08 or '09, and I didn't know that you could do that. Um, OCs, it was, I think it was Help.
Yeah.
Um, what else? There was a bunch. There was I think like the second Waves record with I forget how many V's are in Waves.
Two V's.
Two V's, but I think the record had like three V's in it, was the
Okay.
name of the record. And so that record, I was like, holy shit, like there's a new thing that's happening. And um, also the live Black Lips record, the live in Tijuana Black
Oh
Lips,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fucking weird. And you could tell that they did it. Like a part of me is like, this isn't live. They like,
They overdubbed and stuff. I
yeah, right.
felt, yeah.
But it sounded so good, and it sounded way better than like the songs they played on that live record are all from a few albums. You know, it's from the early 2000s records where nobody knew who they were. And I went back and listened to those songs on the studio records, and they were fine, but they didn't have this like live wild energy, and it didn't sound very good. And so the live record is like, these are the way the songs are supposed to sound. Like they're fucked up and weird, but you can hear everything and their vocals sound amazing. And then in between the songs, it's like you get these little like weirdo like banter, and then the crowd is going off. And um yeah, I don't know. That one was a good one. What else? Goodbye Bread by Ty was amazing. Yeah, I can't
No,
think of it.
those are some good ones, Erica. Thank you for coming with some options there.
Yeah.
Some real good variety there. In terms of uh not shows that you played, but shows that you attended of these contemporary artists, is there anyone that just stands out to you for whatever reason?
Um, yeah. Michael Cronin played a show in Oakland, and Michael Cronin, we were opening for the OCs, and I had never seen the OCs before. I had never heard the OCs before.
Wow.
And I saw them sound check, or I saw them setting up, and I went outside to have a cigarette, and the the bass player was outside, and I think I said what's up or something. And he's like I forget his name.
Petey, maybe at that
He
point.
And he's a total rude boy ska kind of skinhead dude. And I was like, oh, you don't know, like I'm so into ska. I didn't go into it with him, but I was like, that's cool that you like you're doing this garage rock shit or whatever, but like you stay true to like whatever the ska thing. No one was doing that. I gave it up. Like when I was in a ska band, I had the suspenders and the hat and the sideburns, and like I was, picking it up. But
Right, right.
and then John Dwyer walked out of the venue, and he was this like crazy presence. Like you're drawn to him. And I don't even think I still am kind of shy, so I didn't say anything to him. But over the years, I've met him a couple times. I I think I met, so Petey and John came out and they were talking, and I was like, wow, they're a lot older than me. And then they played the show, and it was at this fucking place in Oakland. I forget the name. I can't remember. But I remember being like, I don't get it. And also like, uh, it was loud and it was rocking, but I don't get it. And then and everyone around me was like, "Are you fucking stupid? Like that was amazing!" And it was Bridget and that whole lineup. And it wasn't until I saw them the second time that it all hit me, and I was like, "This band is like incredible." And
Did
it
you
was
also
in
play with them that time, or this was just you attending a show?
yeah, this was like a little while, maybe a few months later, when I was on tour with Michael Cronin in Europe, and we were playing a festival, and we were backstage, and John Dwyer came up and was talking to whoever, Chad or Michael, and so I met him that time, and I was like, "Hello," and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever," and he's like talking 100 miles an hour, and like if you're not a loud person or like someone that commands presence, I don't think he's gonna see you. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, and kind of fade away into the bush or whatever. And then I saw them that time and it was incredible. And then from then on, I was like, this is the best band in the world. And then they added another drummer, and I was like, no one does that. And then other bands started doing it. Meat Body started doing it. We started doing two drummers.
Really? Did you guys start doing it?
Yeah, we did it for like a tour or a couple shows, maybe
It,
like a tour. I think we did.
and this was you playing drums in that band, yes?
It was me and Monty. Monty, who used to play in that band No Parents. He played, and then he played in that band Nice for a while. Um,
And how did
and
that go?
great. And Monty's a great drummer. So we were keeping up with each other, and like we weren't trying to match every single little thing we were doing. So it was kind of cool to, I'll play this fill, and then you can play that fill, and then it was fun. And that was during a weird moment in Meat Bodies where everyone had like face paint, and like we were like really into Bowie and like really glamming it up for a short time, which was weird for me. Like it looked great. It looked like Chad looked great and Patrick looked great, Boog looked great, and I'm like, I think I had a shiny like Neil Diamond shirt, and I wrapped like a belt around my head or something, like a shiny belt. Uh, I was glad when that was over. Anything to stand out.
Right, of course, of course. Look, if you want to get your song played during the Super Bowl or in Ted Lasso, these are the things you got to do.
Yeah, man.
You got to open doors yourself.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of, do you still call it, just refer to it as Pangea, not the other Pangea, in just
Yeah.
casual conversation? All right. Um,
Yeah.
when you guys changed that name, how did you feel about that? I know Danny wasn't too stoked on that. What was your reception?
No one was stoked. And it was like we were on Capitol, and they were gonna release the first single, and they informed us that they sent us like a list of every company registered that had the name Pangea in it, and told us, we're going to run into an issue if that's your name, and what do you guys think about changing the name? um and I thought, no, why don't you guys just try to fight for us to have the name or something? um But I think William was like, well, if we change it, we'll stand out more, because if you Google Pangea, so many other things are going to come up. And if we come up with a name that's unique, then we won't have that problem, which is a good way to look at it. And the name that we chose was Together Pangea, which was just our MySpace handle or something. That
Oh, so it was already in exist this idea of the name was already in existence before.
Yeah, it was like when you would type in myspace.com slash and then you'd type in like whatever, what the fucking All American Rejects or something, and you'd go to their page. And I think Pangea was taken when they made the MySpace, so someone came up with Together Pangea. Uh, and then, yeah, William said, let's just do that because it still has Pangea in the name. And so we chose it, and then we started stylizing it like lowercase Together, and then all caps Pangea, which I was like, guys, what are we doing? uh, and then eventually just made it like a normal 2 words. Um, it's never been a thing that none of us, I don't think, really like the name, and but it's too late.
When you when the when you guys left Capital, did you feel like it was the end of an era and the beginning of a new one? Or was everybody just pretty bummed at that point? Or was there some ray of hope?
Um, I think, yeah, we were a little bummed, but I think there were enough people interested in the band that um, maybe we wouldn't reach the ultimate audience, like all of them, but we'll reach enough people. And if enough people like a thing, they flock to it, kind of thing. Um, so it didn't really deter us at all. We just kind of kept going and kept touring and stuff.
In terms of your favorite songs to play, and I understand that this answer could change, of course, but as of right now, what are some of your favorite songs to play live?
Um, I like a lot of the new stuff. I like playing. Yeah, sir. I'm always the first one in the band to not want to play old songs, and I understand that fans want to hear certain songs, like they'll come to the show to hear certain songs. Um, so there's songs I definitely don't want to play, like Sick Shit, um, and if songs like that where I'm like, we've done this enough. Maybe it's important that we just focus on other stuff. Um, but then, William and Danny are like, no, like people want to hear that. We should appease them and give them a good show. And I'm always like, okay. I do like playing the fast stuff. I like playing like Better Find Out, and um, anytime we pull out an old Living Dummy song, I love I love playing those songs. Um, and then yeah, I'm trying to think of the set list right now. Right now it's really long because we're headlining, so we have to play everything. Um, we're doing a Hives cover that I'm really excited for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're playing AKA Idiot off that first Hives record, um, which is a challenge because that drummer, Chris, his name's Chris. I can't remember his last name.
Well, at least we got the first name. It's a good
Yeah.
start.
It's something like it's like a nickname. It's like Chris something.
Chris
Chris.
nickname. We're getting closer to the answer, but you're covering that one too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that song. I'm looking it up. This is ridiculous. Chris Hives.
That's
Chris
the
Hives.
There he is. I've seen him a million times in all those music videos.
Yeah.
Maybe look up the hives and then members, and it might pop up that way, perhaps.
Chris Dangerous.
Chris Grun? No, dangerous. Yeah,
Chris Dangerous.
that's the guy. That's the man.
That's him. Yeah. Amazing.
Right on. Shout out to
On
Chris.
the band.
So that one is a top tier one for you right now.
Yeah, I love playing that song. Uh, and it's weird because at the rehearsal space, I'll play it and feel really good about it. And then as soon as we get on stage, I'm like, It's like I start playing and I'm like, I don't think I can keep it up. I can't keep up the tempo. Like when you have a dream and you can't, like you'd go to punch somebody, but it like,
But yeah, it
you know,
doesn't go. You through. Yeah.
that's how I
Doesn't
feel
connect.
live.
What goes through your mind when you're playing live, when you're playing a show?
Um, I can kind of zone out at this point. Um, and then it's bad because then I start focusing on like what everyone else is doing wrong, which is not good. I can be in the moment and have fun. But if I hear like one wrong note, I can't help it. And I've been told that this is like an issue. This is a thing that I do is I'll know exactly where it's coming from and I'll look at the person and they think that I'm giving them like the death stare. Like, how dare you ruin my show by playing the wrong note? But really, I just noticed. And so I'm looking at the thing. I don't know. I'm looking at you, dude, but it doesn't mean I'm pissed off. It just means I heard that.
Is
Uh,
is per- is performing live in general, is that like your favorite aspect of making music?
it's up there. I think yes, because
Do
I
you get to
mean it's
judge everybody about how they're playing?
no, it's more of like finally you like me or something. There's like the same reason we all play music is because you want some sort of validation. Uh, you want you want to be like enough for somebody or something. So if I play music that you like a dancing monkey, you'll like me.
You have to like me. You have to
You
because
have, and
yeah,
people
you
have fucking
you
like
ha you signed a social contract.
I mean, that's where it comes from. I don't know if I need people to like me anymore, but I definitely want people to like my music. Uh, so yeah, but recording is also fun as shit. If a song is finished and you can go and lay it down and it sounds good, that's also so validating. That an idea that you had in your head is now a real thing.
Yeah, yeah. Is that kind of is that feeling? How long does that feeling last? How long does that feeling of accomplishment, like, yes, it's pieced together. It's finally this idea is here.
Um, it lasts until you've heard the song too many times.
Hmm. Do you have I think I asked Chad this as well, but do you have a number on and now that's too much. Now that's too many times.
Um, hmm. No, I've certainly never capped it. I haven't noticed when it starts to like go bad, but
Change, yeah.
definitely does. And you start picking at it of things you would do differently. To me, a
Hmm.
song is never finished because you can always go back and mix it and mix that louder, that quieter. Um,
Or add something a little bit different. Oh, I'm gonna change the tempo
yeah,
just a little bit or whatever,
or
maybe just
you've
minute details.
yeah, you finished a vocal and then 6 months later you're like, what if I re-recorded that vocal and changed the words? Like at that point, it's like you got to let it go. And I was talking to Zach from Fiddler uh, when we were on tour, and I was showing him some stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Like, when are you gonna put it out?" And I'm like, I don't know. Oh fuck, man. Like, I haven't thought about it that far yet." And he told me something interesting that releasing music is a skill in its own. Like, it takes skill to write it, it takes skill to record it, and it also takes skill to let that shit go. And kind of, and so I thought that was interesting because that is a really difficult aspect of it. It's like, is it truly finished? Could I add or subtract from it to make it better? I don't know when it's good enough. I don't know when it's done. But
Hmm.
at a certain point, after listening to it too much, you go either it's fine or I don't want to hear it anymore. Please get it away from me and put it out. But you can't shelve it. You don't want to shelve it. If you've worked that hard on it, then you have to like release it.
And to let it go. Were you showing him stuff from your new project, Paint Thinner? Was that what
Yeah.
you were showcasing to him?
Yeah, yeah, that was a couple years ago. We were on tour, um, and it seems like I was annoying all my friends. I was showing everybody, look at this thing that I look, really proud of this. Uh,
And
and
if you say that you like it, that means that you made a social contract that you like me, and
like
we all
me,
know that you like me.
and we're on good terms. Um, yeah, yes. Which is that has been an ongoing that project is an ongoing thing that started um started recording it in 2021 and still hasn't been released and is singles have come out. It's a done thing, but I'm just now it's just picking a date and releasing it.
And it's through Capital as well. Okay.
It's through that dude, the horn player.
Um, so I mean this idea for paint thinner, um, did you go into this knowing I want to play guitar and I want to sing? Is that how you walked into this?
Um yeah, it's I mean, it came from starting to write songs during the pandemic and being at home all day, and there would be no one home. Like my wife is works at a hospital, so during that whole pandemic thing, she was required to, she's a nurse, so she worked throughout that whole thing. So I was spending a lot of time alone and had never really tried to record a demo seriously. And so I started on GarageBand and then was having fun. I was like, this is kind of fun. Uh, and
So
I'm not
obviously
just,
that means it's something wrong if you're having fun making stuff.
wait, I'm not playing drums right now. I'm only programming drums.
Wait,
And
I'm not playing drums and this is fun and this is music. This something.
yeah.
Where did I fuck up here? What's the
um, so then I started just writing songs and then I had enough songs where I thought some of these are good. And then William was like, he was cool enough to listen to them and was like, some of these should go on the next Pangea album. So that was the
wow?
first my music was ever heard by, and like William sings on it, so you wouldn't know it's my song unless you were a huge fan of William's songwriting and you could tell that he didn't write it. So those came out, and then I thought, oh, I could keep doing this. I think I can. I think I want to get really obsessed with songwriting.
And what were those first ones for the people who don't know?
Um, they're on a record called Die that we released in 2021. And Little Line is a song of mine, and Ghoul was a song of mine, and What It's Like is a song of mine. So after that, I had enough songs that I thought I wanted to make a record. And my buddy, Danny Nagaris, who owns Balboa Recording Studio, who Pangea had recorded with in the past, and he's a buddy, and he was like, let's do it. And it became this, I was like, I don't have any money. So he's like, well, if, we won't book out a 2 weeks at Balboa. We'll just, if you have time and I have time, and we'll go in after hours or whatever. And so slowly we started recording this thing, where I would track a bunch of songs and then 3 months later work on them. And it took about 4 years.
But they're finally done now.
They're done, yeah.
And you have released two so far, yes?
Four.
Four is what I meant to say. I was just checking if you were paying attention. Um, when those when the first one, when the very first single came out, how did you feel about putting that out? Were you nervous to put it out? Were you excited to put it out? Was there a mixture of kind of both of those within
Yeah,
this one feeling?
I didn't know how if anyone was going to be interested in it. I don't think a lot of people are ever interested in, oh, the drummer wrote a song, because they know you as the drummer in this band that they might like. Uh, and I knew that it wasn't going to sound like Pangea,
And you didn't
because
want
I
it to, right? I mean, like I kind
no,
of finding your own
and I
voice.
don't think I could. I don't think. I can write like William writes. Uh, I have always looked up to his songwriting, and I always am like, how did you do that? How did you write that? But that gave me enough inspiration. Like I've been around him enough in his songwriting process that I picked up things that I like, or I watched him piece together a demo. I'm like, this is what you need. You need a melody. We're both very hook driven people. We both really like big choruses that you can sing. And this is, you know, you need a verse, and the verse should have its own melody. Everything should be catchy. So when I started writing, I was like writing a chorus, and then I would be like, that's a chorus. Like that's got a hook. And then I just got to put words to it. And then I realized it's not enough. And then I would move it to the verse. I would make that what I thought was a chorus is now the verse. And now I have to write something better for the chorus, for a payoff. And sort of you know, just kind of honing it in over the years. And yeah, I think he taught me a lot without him trying to teach me, I think. And I just became obsessed with it. And yeah. And
And
I
it
didn't know how people were gonna I don't know if people were gonna like it. I still kind of don't know, but it has to come out. It feels like when that first one came out, it truly felt like I was constipated and I'd finally like taken a shit. Like it had been 4 years of sitting on it and showing people and being like, this is look at the thing I made. That it felt good when it came out.
was up to that point, because you have played live, or a Paint Thinner has played live,
Yeah, we played a few shows.
played a few shows, but before that, was your first experience getting behind the guitar instead of a drum kit live with Reckling? Was that the first time?
Yes, which was scary. And she asked me to play um, drums. And
Hmm.
at that time, I had just came and went from Meat Bodies a couple times, and I was still doing Pangea, of course. And playing drums was kind of the last thing I wanted to do. And so I was like, I want to play with you, but if you let me play guitar. And she said yes. Like it wasn't even, she didn't really have to think about it too much, or at least it didn't feel like she had to think about it. Like she let me play guitar, and I I was so scared. I still am scared to play guitar because I'll go back to playing drums live and I'm like, this is so easy, and why would I be nervous? And then I pick up a guitar and I'm like, are my pedals gonna, like, am I in tune? And how am I standing? And is my voice, do I need to see a vocal coach? Um, and you're singing like the words that you wrote, like these vulnerable moments that you have when you're writing, like you're now yelling at them at people. So that is way scarier than like being behind a drum kit. This isn't even my song. I'm just having fun. So there was a challenge in that, but I just I became so obsessed with songwriting and wanting to have my own thing that it's just a part of it. You just have to do it. So I'm trying to do it as much as possible now.
That's fantastic. And please go back and listen to Kelsey's episode on here as well.
Yeah,
She's fantastic musician as well. So I mean, you had some experiences on guitar before Paint Thinner began. What with what you had mentioned before, a little bit of guitar here and there on a song, recording for Pangea, and obviously in Reckling. Um,
yeah.
man, that's it's pretty good. It's pretty good, Eric. I like
I
that, man.
I still love playing with Kelsey. Like I really like her songs, and um, we collaborate in a way that's cool. I mean, the songs are hers, except for I think one song, and I'm just happy to play in it. Like I don't need to have a stake in it creatively all the time. like I do in other things. But yeah, I'll always play. Yeah, I'll always play in her band, but then she and William had their baby, and so she kind of took a little bit of time. And then I had my baby a year ago, and so, and she's always busy. She's got like a real job, and like I don't even know what she does for a living, to be honest with you, but she is working. So that'll pick up whenever it does. I'm sure we'll want to do Reckling again at some point. Um, but yeah, I mean, William having a baby with Kelsey has for a while put Pangea on the back burner. So that gave me the opportunity to focus on the paint thinner stuff.
And having your own baby as well.
Yeah, of course. But like me having my own
Got it.
baby, like I can find the time. Like baby's not awake all the time at this point. Now she sleeps a little bit better, but so it's just for a while I was like, am I ever going to be able to do music having a kid? And you can't. You can kind of do everything, but you just have to like find the time. And so now I find myself doing things at night, like when it comes to music, because for the full day, like I'm a dad until she goes to sleep, and then I can find the time to write or record or whatever.
You do dad rock in the nighttime. Can we say that? Can we phrase it that way?
Uh, yeah, I think technically, yeah,
I mean, I
no
think by
doubt.
definition, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about spearheading this? Not just being, hey, this is somebody else's song. It's like, no, this is my song, and I'm up front, and I'm taking a more prominent position in this, singing my words and playing guitar, and kind of taking this leadership role in
Yeah.
this. How do you feel about that?
It felt so good. No, it
Finally,
was
it's
like
my time to
so
shine.
a little bit of like I'm in control a little bit now, and I don't, you know, I can if I'm writing everything, if I'm recording every instrument, then I can. It's sort of like um, if I'm in control of it, like I'm happy with it. Is that what I was going to say? No, I can sort of expedite the process. Like I don't have to lean on anybody to get something done that's in my head. So that's an amazing feeling to know that I can do it on my own. I can't record any of it on my own because I don't even know how to use Logic, to be honest. So that's where
You're
Danny
getting there. You're
Nagaris
getting
comes.
there.
Um, but it but it is hard because you're now the face of the operation, and you are the brains of the operation, and you're the funding of the operation, um, which I those are things that I wanted to never be a part of. So it was easy to be in Pangea, and I didn't have to worry about the networking or like the social media or the idea of what we should do for the social media. And now it's like, well, now you got to do it yourself. So that sucks, but you know, you got to do it.
This is the time to do it. If the roles were completely reversed, inverted, that you had been spending so much time on guitar and singing more prominently in a group for whatever the 16-ish years, the amount of time you've been in Pangea, say that you were doing that in a different group, do you think that at this point you would have switched gears as well and said, no, I just want to take a more backseat role and just play drums in a different band? Do you think that that would have occurred in the opposite
Uh,
way?
yes, and probably sooner than it did in this direction,
Mm.
because I think having more responsibility. There's more responsibility in like the singing and the songwriting and the face of the operation. There's more to it than just being the drummer. So I would have looked at it lustfully like, oh, if I could just be that drummer, man, who just doesn't, he could, all he's got to do is jam. And so I think I would have, yeah, I would have gone drumming sooner.
That's awesome. Eric, man, I really appreciate you coming on here, sir. Thank you very,
Yeah.
very much. But before I let you go, we got some stuff to promote. You're a busy guy here. So, Paint Thinner's music, all four songs, are streaming everywhere, right? Wherever people get their music, that's where they can find it.
Yep.
And by the way, who else rounds out your band, your live band, the couple times that you played?
Yeah. So I always have Elias who plays guitar, who um, is a buddy. Uh, and then have Nick and Sam Wilkerson, the twins, um, who moved to LA a few years back, who played in White Reaper, uh,
Oh, okay.
and they've been great. And then when they can't do it because they're so busy going on other people's tours that I'm constantly having to figure out who's next. So then Max and Brandon from Fiddlar have stepped in for a show. Charlie from Lily has stepped in for a show. And I'm kind of doing that like A squad, B squad. Not that they're any better than each other. They're
Right.
all great, but there is like the guys that I want, and then the guys leave, and I have to find new guys. And I learned that from watching Kelsey, because Kelsey has always had a rotating cast in her band, and I had never seen that. So when she started to do it, it was like I think I'd have to do it like that. There's no set person in the band other than me. Um, but I think Elias will kind of always be there. He's great. And yeah.
That's awesome. And please go back and listen to Brandon and Max's
Oh, man,
episodes as
I got a
well.
lot of these.
Yeah, you got. I mean, you know what, dude? We should have just listened to it. We're gonna do a streaming thing. I should have just made you.
Party.
I should have put it on and said, and you like this, right? And then and then you like me. No, please go back and listen to everybody who was mentioned on here who has been on this podcast previously. If we mentioned them, even if we didn't mention them, just go back and listen to them. Eric, please. I haven't asked you for much. Just go back
Okay.
and listen to
I'll,
all
um,
250 whatever's. Um, so everyone can stay up to date with news and shows and everything else by following um paint.thinner.la. That's the best place. That's you on Instagram, and that's you plugging stuff there. The thing you love to do.
that's right.
So stay up to date with that with Eric's stuff through there. And also Together Pangea's music is streaming everywhere, wherever people get their music, that's where they could find it. New album, Eat Myself, out January 16th. Um People can go to togetherpangea.com for merch. That's the best place to buy that merch.
Yep.
Perfect. Um, and people can follow at Together Pangea on Instagram. Is there another place that I mean, the band camp, I guess, as well is a good place to support
Uh,
the band.
yeah, always. Bandcamp for sure.
So I think it's togetherpangea.bandcamp.com. If it's not, whatever the correct URL is below whatever you're listening to this on.
Cool.
And a couple of shows coming up, right?
Yeah, we're playing with High Curbs and Null. We got a couple shows this next weekend. We've got Reno and San Francisco and Fresno and Sacramento.
And that starts what when does that start?
Thursday night in Fresno.
This Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is out on Friday, so Fresno show went well, I can already tell. So Friday,
So the next
Friday,
show, San Francisco,
San Francisco
at the stadium.
at the stadium.
At,
Wow, man.
at yeah,
In Oakland with the
it's
OCs.
technically yeah.
No, yeah, so San Francisco, And then the two other ones is what? Where else?
Sacramento, so San Francisco at Rickshaw Stop,
Okay.
Sacramento at Harlem, Reno at the Holland Project.
Woo! Yeah, so get your tickets. And get out there and have some fun. It'll be some good shows. Also, the most recent single, it was a Halloween single with the Red Pears.
Yeah,
It's called Halloween.
it's called Halloween. Yeah.
You could listen to it any time of year. It doesn't
Nah,
even matter when. Like you could stream it
man,
right now.
it's a spooky song. It matters.
It's a spooky song. Let's go stream that song. Once again, the newest album, Eat Myself, out January 16th via who's putting it out?
Network Records.
Network Records, and that's where the Battle Act 10th year anniversary also they
Uh,
also put that one out. Or
no,
that was Org. I'm sorry.
or yeah, Org
I'm
Records.
sorry. I'm sorry. Eric, hold on. I just want to take this time. Apologies to you, Eric.
I,
Apologies to
I,
Org. Apologies. I am sorry. My B. So this new album put out by Network. Network's putting it out.
yeah,
Good deal. And people can go pre-order it now and pre-save it as well, because that's also important now.
I think so. That's what they tell me.
Okay. So we've heard that it's important to go pre-save it. So please go pre-save it. Whatever that does, it's important. And Eric, do we have anything else to you got more paint thinner music coming out?
I'm gonna drop the record, I think, on January 2nd on streaming. So please
Uh,
listen to it.
Okay, January 2nd.
Yeah,
Streaming everywhere.
yeah,
Paint thinner. Paint
yeah.
thinner. Good
Hmm.
stuff.
Thank you.
And there's four singles right now, so just to hold you over until then.
Yes. Hmm.
And once again, that's this paint.thinner.la on Instagram to keep up to date with shows and stuff. Eric, I cannot thank you enough, sir, and I'm gonna stop recording this and I'll talk to you in a minute, all right?
Okay, thank you for having me.